CouchTatoes. If you notice, we got a little bit of an upgrade here. We got some new microphones.
We're fancy.
Little investments into the channel. Welcome to CouchTatoes, a series where we discuss whatever peculiarity interests us for the week. And I think this episode we will also be introducing hot takes. Our subject for this week is Elvis Presley. It was about almost 2 weeks ago now, where I was working and she sent me an image of the Priscilla movie. She screenshotted it from Facebook and she's like, hey, I want to watch this. And she gave me like the little emoji with the little like, can we watch it please? Like eyes.
Whoa.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, we'll watch that maybe on my weekend, whatever. So we got to watching it.
It's a good movie. I'd recommend it. Good.
I did not know that much about Elvis Presley going into this movie, and I came out of it worse for wear. Like, I turned to her, and I was just like, man, Elvis Presley was a real piece of work, dude.
Yeah, personally, I am a fan of him. I kind of just accept the fact that, like, everybody I like is, like, a messed up person, and I'm just like, you know what? Is what it is. But what gets me is when people try to, like, defend him. Like, we'll go into like some of the stuff he's done, but it's crazy to me that just because somebody's a fan, then they think they have to defend like everything they do. I'm like, no, girl, it was messed up. You can say that. You know?
Adding on to this, I would say this is obviously not one of our more spooky CouchTatoes episodes.
It's a little creepy.
Sometimes in a different way, yeah. Sometimes our episodes are going to be like that. It's just whatever oddity, really. Like, we really like the paranormal, the conspiracy theories, etc. But we're shaking it up a little bit this week, I would say.
Yeah, sometimes we'll just talk about weird things.
Yeah,
you know?
Weird things.
Yeah.
And I did, obviously, towards the end of this, we're going to be discussing, like, you know, the most popular Elvis Presley conspiracy theory, because I was like, well, it's a CouchTatoes episode. You got to throw that onto there if you can. Yeah, without further ado, you want to get into it?
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. My material this week is sourced from an article called The Dark Side of Elvis Presley by Jason Ianon and Brian Boone. If I remember correctly, this is sourced from a website called Grunge. Grunge or Grudge? Pretty sure it's Grunge. People already know the man, the myth, the legend. It's the king, baby. Elvis Presley. So I'm not going to waste time going into his origin story. I feel like that'd be such a retread on a historical figure that people already know. We're just going to talk about like all the weird stuff associated with him.
Yeah, stuff you might not know, or you might know it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Elvis wrote next to nothing of his own material. Even though he was co-credited as a writer for about 10 songs, he didn't really contribute anything aside from an odd title here and there. The co-writer credits were for publicity, and he admitted so himself. In a 1957 interview for Dig magazine, he said, "I've never even written a song in my life." He also said he never even had an idea for a song. And in addition, in that same interview, despite walking around with a guitar and using it as a prop on stage and pretending to play it, he didn't even know how to play guitar.
That's crazy. I mean, I've basically heard that because it was like the 50s, you know, they didn't really want black people on TV. So basically they took music from them, but just like made Elvis like the face of it.
He was a poser.
I mean, literally.
Like, all right, credit where it's due.
He was a good performer. Yeah.
You know, he was good with the theatrics, and you know, he really was interested in film, and maybe that's where he should have gotten his start. I think like that's what he should have gravitated towards to begin with.
He did movies though.
I know he did movies. Like we saw it in the movie. If y'all haven't had the chance yet, you should really watch Priscilla. It's out on Max. Like I said, it gave me some perspective. And we were like scratching our brains. We're like, what should we do? Like, what should we do the next CouchTatoes on? And we got some good ideas that I think we'll shelve for some later episodes. But after I watched the Elvis movie, I was like, let's do an episode on him because this was weird.
It was a trip.
It was a trip. Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker, worked out a deal to where Elvis would receive 1/3 of song royalties for songs that he never even wrote. One of these would be Don't Be Cruel. He never wrote that. He never had any contribution to that song really. And his manager, the Colonel, as he liked to call him, basically like strong-armed him into receiving royalties, and he made deals with artists like, oh, you will make sure that my client gets a third of royalties from this and that he gets listed as a co-writer. Like, Elvis Presley was basically the Ben Affleck of his time when it came to Good Will Hunting. I often think of that. I think it was Family Guy that like did a lampoon of like when Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were writing Good Will Hunting, and they did a cutaway joke, and Ben Affleck was just chilling on a freaking couch while Matt Damon was writing, and then like Ben Affleck farted and he was like, you got any more weed? So I don't know, I think that's a good correlation there. Like, what was Elvis really doing aside from being a pretty boy? The Colonel also tried this tactic with Dolly Parton and her song I Will Always Love You. Basically the Colonel was like, hey, let Elvis record that, let him get like a third of the royalties from that. And Dolly Parton basically told him to F off, because she was like, no, the song's already written, I've already done it. Why would I give you like the royalties on that? That's money that's going to be for my family long after I'm dead.
He didn't write it, so yeah, like why would he?
Exactly. Elvis also loved his pew pews. He would stuff guns into his boots while he was on stage performing.
It seems so extra.
We love an American exercising his two-way.
That's kind of the vibe, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Just, I thought that was kind of a quirky little tidbit. One of the funniest things that I found was that Elvis loved to impersonate police officers. He would slap a siren on his car and chase down speeders, and then he'd be like, we're going a little too fast. Like, he'd be in a police uniform and everything.
That's so weird.
Yeah. And then, like, he'd give them a ticket, but it wasn't a ticket. It was like an autograph of him.
Imagine being that person. Like,
that's like next level narcissism.
That's freaking. Who has the time to like think of that and then like go out and like, it's like, you know what sounds fun? You're like pretending to be a police officer.
Elvis was also a foodie. He loved that big boy Southern breakfast. We're talking the sausages, the ham, the bacon, the eggs. I think he had like fried potatoes or something. Is that? Yeah, fried potatoes. That's what's in my notes. Yeah.
I've always heard like, I know it's like an iconic thing. It's like the fried like peanut butter and banana. And I think there's like bacon in these sandwiches too. But that's like a known thing. Like I've gone to like restaurants in LA and it'll be like the Elvis sandwich. And it's always like some variation
of that. He liked his big boy meals.
Big boy sandwiches, big boy meals.
Big boy.
I think it was Michelle McDaniel who made a video about like his diet. And just like how wild and like
it was
bad
terrible. It was bad.
Which like no hate, like that's funny. But
yeah, no, there's definitely like quirkier parts to him that were more harmless.
Like I'm not hating, I think it's funny.
Yeah. He also had a chimpanzee named Scatter. Scatter.
That's weird.
Yeah. Me? Am I
that? I mean, like, I don't know, having a pet, like, monkey of any kind just creeps me out. Like, they're just, like, so human-like, but, like, not.
Yeah.
And it would just creep me out to have them. It'd be like having a kid as a pet.
Cute. I'm like,
like,
what are you talking about,
they will eat you. Like, they will bite your face. I've seen it.
Bitch, I will eat you.
I will eat you.
Elvis's mother passed away while he was in the army. Around this time, he started an amphetamine habit.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not good.
Not good, too. He started dating Priscilla when she was just 14.
And he was, what, 23?
Something like that. When they met, according to Priscilla, Elvis looked at her and said, "Why, you're just a baby."
That's so weird. I also have a quote here from one of his friends where he was... Elvis told him that Priscilla was young enough that he could train her any way he wanted.
So, like standard, just Hollywood grooming, really.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. Things don't change. Hollywood. Presley invited her to move in with him when she was just 15.
So he waited until she was 14.
We are entering uncomfortable territory.
It's getting uncomfy.
This is where it starts getting really weird.
It's getting uncomfy in here.
He had a weird thing about virginity. he did not get intimate with her until 1967.
Like after they were married.
Yeah.
But like before that, like they'd still kiss and stuff, and then they would like his thing was like he'd like to take Polaroids of her, like have her dress up and he would take Polaroids.
It's nice to know that while being a creep, he also had standards.
Yeah, class.
Yeah.
And then another thing too is after she gave birth to their daughter, then he wasn't really like attracted to her, and like he said that like he couldn't be with a woman who like had a child.
He said that it.
I'm like, that's
weird.
weird.
Let me check my notes real quick.
That's weird. Like, that's your kid. Like, what do you...
They grossed him out, I guess. That's what I put. Women that were like post-pregnant, women that had children, they grossed him out.
But that didn't stop him from going elsewhere.
He cheated a lot.
It's rumored, yeah, that he cheated a lot, especially with his co-stars. I know that like Anne Margaret is a big one that like a lot of people think that he cheated with.
Priscilla was his little doll. He had her dress up. He basically chose her fashion for her.
Yeah, he had her put like caps, like porcelain caps on her teeth, and then had her dye her hair, which it's rumored that like it was kind of like he wanted her to look like somewhat like his mom.
His
too.
mother?
Yeah, and so he had her like dye her hair black. And also it was like, I feel it's weird too, because in a way she like kind of looked like him a little bit, because they both had like the big hair and it was like the same color. Like it's weird, you know. And then yeah, he would like choose her
narcissism.
He would like choose her outfits and like tell her like what she could and couldn't wear.
Yep.
It was like weird too. Like I know it's common for guys to be like, oh, that's like revealing, don't wear that. It would be like, no, if it was like patterns or certain colors like that he didn't like. I'm like, that's so random. Like who cares? Like,
he died dropping a dooski.
If I died like that, I'd hope that like nobody would tell anybody that, you know.
I mean, if that's the way I go out, I'd want everybody to know.
Let me have a little dignity.
At least like people would be able to get a laugh out of it.
No.
No.
Let me have a little dignity.
A little dignity. It's time for the Elvis Presley conspiracy theory. There were sightings of him as recently after the day that he died. Like immediately the day after.
Where?
Let me check my notes.
Around town.
He was spotted on August 1977 at Memphis International Airport. A man looking like him gave the name John Burroughs, which is the same name Elvis used booking hotels.
Interesting.
Mm.
I wonder where he was going. Did it say like where he was, like what the flight was for?
No.
Oh.
So in late 1988, a record label called LS Records released a song, Spelling on the Stone, sung by an unknown artist purporting to be Presley. The song's narrative suggested Presley really didn't die.
Interesting.
Yeah, I kind of want to listen to that song.
I know. I wonder like if
I think I wanted
alive.
to deep dive and like see if I could quote some lyrics, but I don't know if that would be categorized as like copyright or whatever, and then reciting them.
Mean, I think if you recite them, you're fine. Just don't play the song.
Anyways, that's something for y'all. You should, maybe look that song up. That'd be Neato Burrito.
I wonder why he would do that, if that's true. Like why?
Yeah.
And then where he went, like what is he doing? If he's still alive, what is he doing?
So, some think Elvis was involved with the mafia during his rock star tenure.
Oh. So
they think that he served as an undercover agent and was found out, which is why he would have to have faked his death.
Okay.
So that's the Elvis Presley conspiracy theory.
Interesting.
Yeah. Transitioning to hot takes here. We recently had like a little movie marathon. We were just watching
just like teen movies, like weird teen movies.
Like we watched She's the Man with Amanda Bynes.
Yeah. And
then we leapt off from there. We had like a snow day here, and we were just chilling inside. And we were looking through our daughter's DVDs that we're kind of collecting for her. And there was a copy of High School Musical. I was like, I've never seen High School Musical. I want to cringe and I want to laugh.
Can't believe you never saw that. Like,
You know,
it's crazy.
screw like, you know, street cred or whatever. I really didn't think it was too bad of a movie. Like for
It's
its
not
time.
bad.
If I were a teenager, I wouldn't watch it because I'd be laughed at and I wouldn't live it down.
But for like
but
a
as a
teen
grown
movie, it's not
adult
bad.
man, secure with himself, who has a baby daughter, that wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I think I'm prepping myself to watch whatever other cringe fests that she wants to watch growing up.
It'll be a cringe fest.
I always think of that story with your dad where he watched a movie with you and your younger sister, and as you guys walked out, you were like, wow, that was such a great movie. And then your dad was just like,
it was a movie. I wish I remembered what movie it was, but yeah, it was like, it was a movie.
What is the hot take for this week, babe?
I don't know if it's like a hot take, because I've seen people, like some people agree with me, but I guess it's kind of a hot take. But if you've seen High School Musical, like, Troy should have ended up with Sharpay, and Gabriella was boring, and Sharpay was robbed. Like, imagine being like a theater kid, like the theater's like your life, and all of a sudden like this new girl comes and it's like she sings well like once, and now she's just like taking your man and like taking over the musical.
Gabriella was a total pick-me.
I'd be mad. She was like, she's not girly, like she's just like nervous.
I'm not
she
like the other girls.
Like, it's like, you know what? I hate science. I hate math. I hate it all. I'm girly. I like cute things. I'm exactly like other girls. I'm worse.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
so,
pretend to be cool.
So you thought, why did they call her Sharpie?
Sharpay.
Sharpie, that's what I said.
Sharpie?
Yeah. Why you think that Sharpie should have ended up with Zac Efron's character?
Yes.
It's kind of sad what happened to him, you know? Like with the whole like plastic surgery and stuff. He was a pretty boy.
I've heard he got like injured and had to get surgery, and it didn't look the same after. I don't know like what's true. I haven't looked into it, but that sucks either way.
So hot take, Ashley Tisdale's character Sharpie should have ended up with Zac Efron instead of Gabriella.
Gabriella was boring.
Yeah. She's like, I'm good at science. I like to read.
I like math and science and books.
Aren't I so different?
I don't care about girly stuff.
I'm not like the other girls. So
that's so boring.
I guess I'm gonna ask y'all, do you think that, you know, Troy should have ended up with Sharpie?
This went everywhere.
Sound off in the comments below.
What do you think about Elvis?
That's our hot take for this
What do you
week.
think about High School Musical?
This is a new segment. We intend to make them a lot more spicier than this. We just had a little movie marathon, I guess. I think that will do it for today's video. Anything that you'd like to add?
I think that's good. Are you guys Elvis fans? Are you guys High School Musical fans? Let us know.
Should Troy have ended up with Sharpie?
Should Elvis have been with Priscilla?
Probably not. Sound off in the comments below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. Give it a little share if you enjoyed today's video. That's everything, yeah?
Give it a little share, you know?
Give it a little share.
Send it to your family group chat. Like,
I don't care.
Just do it.
Do it.
Dare you.
Do it.
Dare you.
Dare you. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Bye.
Bye.
She's leaning over the rail of a bridge. She lights up another cigarette. Smoke at the end gets lost in the fog. The truancy life of a stray dog. She hasn't been the same since that boy left that day. She's a stray. She's a stray dog. She hasn't been the same since that boy moved away. She's in pain. Call it heartache. Love can make you do pretty crazy things, especially when love's unrequited. She's taken to habitual burnings. Pyro tendencies make her less lifeless. She hasn't been the same since that boy left that day. She's a stray. She's a stray dog. She hasn't been the same since that boy moved away. She's in pain. Call it heartache.